Welcome to Obsession Engineering at the Manx Grand Prix 2022. You join us at Secret Garage while we're doing an engine change on the Aprilia RS660 after a small technical problem. This has actually been fired up on the bench, but to get it up to full temperature we thought we'd bring it out here. But it is 12:15, so we've been just over 4 hours today. 3.5, 4 hours. We've done some hours on it today and a bit yesterday, so here we go. And being as we've already run it today, that is no surprise. So we're just going to run it up to temperature now, double check its water levels and bits, and then give it an oil change. And it's nearly ready for evening practice. Right, it is 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Scrutineering has just opened for the first batch of classic Superbikes and Manx Grand Prix senior bikes, which means we'll be up in 10 minutes or so with the ZXR. It didn't need very much. Basically, it's just had a good check round. We did jetting bits with it last night. But I have fitted a new chain. Zavaki have sent us a new version of the Pro Race Arb chain, or whatever they call it, that is lighter than the old version. I think Padgett's ran them at TT, but they're still testing. So hopefully they'll be available soon for everybody out there. They are lighter than the old version, but I would imagine equally as strong. The 250 is working. We've run it up to temperature and then a bit, and we've revved the nuts off it in the paddock, and that's basically as running as that gets before it goes down Bray Hill. Martin is on the dyno with the Aprilia, just giving it basically a bit of a run to make sure it's making reasonable horsepower and doing what it should do. No reason why not, but if you've got a chance to test these things, you do. So it has been busy. When I say it has been busy, we started at 7:30 this morning. It's 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and we had about 10 minutes for lunch, and that's been it. So it is full on, but everything is ready, barring Martin reappearing and putting the phone back on the Aprilia. In a change from normal scheduling, I've decided, because it's been a very long day, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do one lap on the big bike, check the jetting, have a lovely ride around the best racetrack in the world, but I'm only going to do one. And I'll save a bit of energy then, and a little bit of muscle ache for the 250, because the 250 has to go around today. Officially it has to do 2 laps to qualify, one which must be the quali speed, so there's quite a lot of riding on that thing actually going round, because if it doesn't go around today, that's it, because the race is tomorrow. And I'm going to try and set off on the 250 with Martin, who at the moment is probably actually going quicker than I go on the 250, but I can show him some lines and see what he's doing basically. So that is the plan. Obviously this is classic racing, the plan may change very quickly, but you never know. We might be lucky. You know, it must be getting important because Chad's turned up. That we've been graced with royalty if you're from Yorkshire.
I'm a bit horrified that you've not lent me one of your bikes. Is that because I beat you last time?
Well, to be fair, we have actually got it with us, but I peeled your name off the screen because
you don't like me anymore.
There's a height limit I've decided on that bike.
Is it a height to weight ratio?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So if you're a dwarf, you have to be under 11 stone, and I'm a dwarf over 11
No, you have to be a dwarf and over 18 stone, so the bike's still slow. But no, it's nice that Chad's come to visit. I'm sure officially he's working, but...
Yeah, I'd like to thank all my sponsors. None of them. What were yours? Ray-Ban and...
Yeah, right, exactly, yeah. So, it's always nice to have Chad along because he's chilled and relaxed and he's fun.
Until I'm racing, then I'm shooting myself.
Yes.
But I don't do that anymore.
No, you don't, because you're not allowed.
I don't think I'm allowed, no. Although I think she wants me to race more.
Yeah. Has she renewed that insurance policy?
I think that's it, yeah. Right, crack on, do your serious stuff.
Yeah, you go and do some work.
I'm doing work now, working.
Just had a really, really enjoyable lap on the 750. The jetting's better. It's just that bit sharper. The nice thing is when I go off the throttle and back on, it's just come back on quicker. So it's more like riding it like a modern bike, I suppose. So no, love that ZXR, it's cool. But over winds I need to make it faster. That's it, I've got 10-15 minutes before I'm out on the 250. Everybody else is warming up behind me, so it's noisy. So look behind there, lots of two-stroke smells and stuff going on. So yeah, no, it's happy days.
So Martin's just come back in off of practice session this evening, Thursday. Go on then, mate. How'd you get on?
Well, meant to be running in a new engine, so took it steady for a little bit. 107 standing start, 109.5 flyer at the end. So lack of laps, but that is ridiculous.
The smile on his face. I've never seen him smile so big. Absolutely amazing.
Thanks, Dad.
You're welcome.
I just focused on the smoothness and using all the road, like Dave said, and things were coming to me real good.
And I came out, no short lap, no checkered flag. I'm on it. And as I pass, coming up to the bushes, I say, this can't make 3 laps. And then I don't know what to do, because I'm an idiot.
Well, you have to buy a drink for everybody. That's like I did it years ago. I had to buy a drink for everybody. It's like a TT rule. It's history.
It's in the regs. It's in the regs.
So tonight's taxi service is brought to you by Ciderman and his team. Very nice of them, because it's nice to break down with a friend. The TZ was getting quite warm again, so I decided it was best not to melt it. So no, it's nice to get a lift back. The only slight issue is we're a little bit short on seats. So I'm sitting here for the next few miles, which could be exciting. What could possibly go wrong? So we've just stopped for a little interval on the drive back, because it does get quite warm in the back of here, because I have 2 quite warm motorcycles with me. And I've developed a technique. The wonderful people in the front of the van, they shout what's coming up next, left or right, and I basically balance and counter steer the bike. It's an interesting technique, and I believe it's in the original highway code for Manx transporting of motorcycles in vans while sat on them. I think it was volume 1 or might be volume 2. I'll have to check. But so far it's going well. The van is nice and smooth. It's pretty good.
Dave, what are you doing in the back of a van on the 250?
Well, I thought it'd be nice to actually be on the bike, while it was under motion for a reasonable length of time. So we put it in the back of the van and got a lift back. Excellent. Right, I might get out now because it's a little bit cramped and quite warm. So I nipped up the race office to see if they'd let me start the race on the 250, even though I haven't done any laps. And rightly so, I haven't done any qualifying on it, so I'm not allowed to race it. So it's a real shame. A big thanks still to Chris for letting me use it. My apologies to him for slightly breaking it. The 750 was mega tonight, so really pleased with that. Big thanks to Wayne and his lot for giving me a lift home. Really, really pleased with how mine's gone. And I may say really, really pleased and just a little bit annoyed that he's actually gone faster than me on it. And he's done 6 laps around the Isle of Man. The boy is on it. Rick, you can't fault his commitment for starting a 3rd lap. And he got to meet his hero, John McGuinness. So, it's pretty good going. And he was faster again tonight, so that's good crack. Stuart was 100 mile an hour, 0.9, so that's his quickest lap. He's enjoying himself. The mood in the tent is light-hearted and fun. And this is, I suppose, the difference, really. This compared to TT, where it was all pressure and it was all stress. And this, some stuff's gone wrong. We've had some long days, but it's the point when you're in the garage at the end of the day and everybody's smiling and it's just brilliant. It's just mega. So it's all good stuff. So that's it for today. We'll come back tomorrow, and if the weather forecast is wrong, we'll go and ride some motorbikes. It's Saturday, the sun is shining, and it is race day. Not race day for me, though. The 250 should have been racing yesterday, but it rained, and we haven't qualified it because it keeps breaking down. I do have a practice lap on the big bike at 11:30 this morning, and then there's the 2-lap 250 race, which has been shortened quite a bit, but I'm not in it anyway. And then after that is a full 4-lap junior race for the twins. So we've got all 3 of the newcomers racing today, and I'd imagine they're probably getting quite nervous by now. Martin is the fastest of our newcomers so far. He's lapped at 109.5 miles an hour, which is absolutely flying. Speed trap to Sulbid, 147 mile an hour. He is on fire. Rick has gone over 103 miles an hour. He is chipping away in every lap. He's learning and going faster. The Ducati isn't actually ours, it's just living in our garage overnight. Stuart is consistently over 100 mile an hour laps. He's enjoying himself, and again, he's just getting faster every lap because that's what you do when you're a newcomer around here. So at 2:45 this afternoon, all three of these boys are going out for their first ever race around the Isle of Man, and then they won't be newcomers anymore. They'll be real men. In preparation for the racing in a few hours, we're working out where pit crews are going to be. So Siobhan, who is helping Martin all week, and when we say helping, we mean babysitting Martin all week, Siobhan is going to be stood in the return road, giving us signals to where Martin is, because we're not allowed to have phones in pit lane, because they're not intrinsically safe and they might cause a spark, even though the motorbikes can do that perfectly well on their own. So we're going to be stood in pit 16, just over there. When Martin comes in, we need to know he's coming, so we've got our balaclavas on and we're ready. But the timing screen, like, because I've got the old grandstand, that's the timing screen with some information on it, but it's a bit of an odd angle for us to see it from our pit. So the other system, and this was introduced at TT as a stopgap until they sort of better grandstand scoreboard, is Siobhan can stand over there and give us certain signals. Right, Siobhan, do you know the signals for Glen Helen?
Glen Helen.
Balaf. Go on, put some effort in, girl. Excellent, that's the jump at Balaf. Ramsey. Hairpin. Yeah, very nice. Bungalow. Go on, do it bigger, girl. Over your head. Lovely, lovely. And then Conkney Mona, our favourite one. Lovely. So they're the signals because it's noisy in pit lane, so we know where Martin is. And the Conkney Mona one is especially important because that's about a minute and a half before Martin gets into pit lane.
I had a missed call this morning off an unknown number, so I didn't answer it. Turns out it was the race office, which is helpful. They bumped me up from 35 to 14 on the grid. So the lap I put in, flying lap I put in Thursdays, put me up to 14th. They've moved me around. So hopefully I shouldn't catch anybody on the road for best part of a lap, really, with the pace at the top for sort of 10, 15 are going. So that's sorted out a bit of traffic issue I might have had coming from 35th. So I'm well happy with that.
That's a lovely piece of headway you've got.
Well, I burn like a ginger, so I think I'm going to have to do something. I'll put some sun cream on first time this year, and I've got a bit of shade now. It's lovely.
Stu Dog. Hi. It's the first time I've seen you chewing on your fingernails. So, are you getting a little bit nervous before your big race?
A little, yeah. I think it'd be weird if you weren't. So, but those nerves will be gone by the time we get to bottom of Bray Hill. It'll be fine.
I'm getting nervous. I think the boys are getting nervous. How are you doing, Jackie?
Okay. It's a little nerve-wracking, but okay. He's made it so far, so it gives me confidence. I'm more worried about him not stopping to get gas than anything.
Attention pilot. This is the third race signal for the Manx GP junior race. That's 15 minutes to go. Could we please have bikes numbers 1 to 20 up onto the start line, please? That's numbers 1 to 20 up to the start line, please. Control out.
How nervous?
Not nervous, just want to start now. Just as soon as I get down the road, it'll be all right.
How are you feeling about this race today, Mark?
Good. Now I've had a couple of laps strung together during practice. I'm less nervous really. Being bumped up from 35th to 14 was a nice surprise this morning. It'll teach me not to answer unknown numbers on the mobile phone, won't it? Because I almost missed out. Just anticipation. I just want to get going. As soon as you get that tap and you go off, your nerves settle and that's it. You just go back into. You just go back into just chipping away. Try it. Just get to the end of the race. See what happens.
I hope you have a great race. Don't forget to pull in for the pit stop.
Yeah. I know. I'm nervous about that actually.
Just keep talking to yourself and good luck.
Thank you.
This is quite nerve-wracking. This is a little bit like sending your kids to school when there's tigers in the playground. I've never been this side before. I'm not sure I like it. Happy? to burn the clutch out. Good smooth start. That's all right.
Eric did a good job.
He did. Eric always does a good job.
I do have to go pee now, though.
You'll be all right in a minute.
Yeah.
Trust me, it'll pass. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Are you excited?
Oh, yeah. Very much so.
2 laps in and Martin's in the pits. He's in the fight for 9th place. His first lap was over 108 miles an hour, his second over 110. He is on form, which is more than can be said for my pit stop capabilities. I was really nervous, and I will admit fumbling his fuel cap. Sorry for costing you a few seconds there, Martin. 10 years after coming to watch the TT, and the sole reason he started racing, Martin has just finished his first race round the mountain course. He finished in 8th place and he lapped at over 111 miles an hour. He did brilliantly, and the emotions were very real. Here we go, Rickson.
That was awesome. That was amazing. I'm very tired. I'm very tired right now.
But it was good.
It was awesome.
Brilliant. We've got 3 riders back, and that is about all you could hope for when they're all newcomers and they're all trying. He looks like he's worked hard in that.
Oh God, that was amazing. That was so much fun. I just had the track to myself. It's like your own personal playground. Passed a few people, so I know I'm not last. And wow, just wow. I got nothing else.
Ignoring the 500 race, that is our racing for the day done. I've still got a little bit of prep work to do on the 750, and the twins are still up in Parc Fermé. But for now, we're just going to chill out a little bit, do a little bit of work on the bikes, and get prepped for Monday. It is Bank Holiday Monday morning, which means it's race day for me and my ZXR 750. And to say there's a hint of nervous energy would be a reasonable understatement. They've just announced scrutineering is open for the warm-up lap today. Everything is delayed about an hour and a half at the moment. And I've popped into the Kibosh Wiz Norton garage, and they're still doing a little bit of work, because to say that they've had a few niggles would be quite the understatement. Talk us through how well the Manx Grand Prix has been going for you.
It started badly, then it got progressively worse, and then I got to the bottom of Bray Hill on the warm-up lap on Saturday, and it broke down, which is the shortest I've ever done around this course with the bike not working. And then I was filmed by a spectator punching a dent in the tank. So that was probably the low point, and then from there it's got progressively better, and like in Apollo 13, it is going to be our finest hour today.
So when you walk around this paddock, it's quite easy to get motorbike envy, and I mean, I have a love affair with ZXR 750s, and these ones, these Herheim ones, I've not really paid that much attention to, because you look at them prior to them in the garage, and the paint scheme and stuff is sort of standard ZXR, and then you have a proper look at them, and I talked to the boss man earlier about it. So proper Rollins forks, Kraus engine. Right, this engine, we'll talk about the engine to begin with. That is on standard rods, polished, obviously port work cams, standard gearbox, but it's using the standard first and second gear from an L engine, and then the close ratio 3rd, 4th, 5th and 6th. So it's good at the hairpins and the slow quarters, and they're still fast. That engine is late 140 horsepowers, but was built to do basically like endurance. So late 140 horsepower, but they've done a lot of work on the chassis. Right, the shock linkage in it down there, the actual link itself is a proper ex-factory Superbike link with some custom dog bones into a custom shock that was actually built out of 3 different Olin shocks, and they've done a lot of work on getting the weight off the bike. And this bike, apparently, dry fuel is 150 kilograms. So nearly 150 horsepower, 150 kilograms, and it's just a really cool thing. William Dunlop used to ride it. Ryan Neen's riding it this year. It's just one of these bikes that's so neatly put together, you almost don't notice all the little details, but it really is a sort of a work of art, a passion piece, really. So yeah, that is lovely. 10 minutes before the warm-up lap starts, have a ride around. There's probably a few damp patches in the warm-up that probably won't be there later. So, sensible ride around, just enjoy myself. It's a little bit, if there's another chance for me to check the taller gearing we tried, because I've never had a run over the mountain with it yet. So, if it's a disaster, we will go back to this gearing we used before. But, we should be alright. So, go and have a ride around. Right, warm-up lap done on the 750. I'm pleased we got a warm-up lap because all this sort of standing around not being busy this morning is, actually needed a wake-up. So that's exactly what it's for. It's spot on. Boys will give the bike a little bit of a once-over, a bit of a check round, set the battery on charge, put some petrol in it. But I like the new gearing because I can run lower gear in quite a few places and fire it off the corner a bit better. So I like it. It's smoother and it's giving it a bit of wheelbase as well. So it's stabilised it a little bit in places. So I think we're good. So now I need to go and actually have some lunch, so I've got some fuel for later. So just up on the road for the sort of start of the senior race, so this is nowadays the 600 race. Dennis Booth, I've raced loads against Dennis over the years, really, really good guy, always has a good, decent bike as well. And it turns out this year he's not got a bad pit crew either, because he's got Michael in pit crew with him. Down here with Paul Cassidy, just before his first ever road race round the Isle of Man.
Yeah, absolutely looking forward to it. Very nervous, to be honest with you. Getting a bit nervous now, but yeah, just ride around, don't you? Another 4 laps of practice, really, and keep looking away and see how we get on, is the plan.
Second newcomer on the road, started at 38, is Frankie Stennett. And I've seen Frankie a bit in practice. He's been going really, really well. He's nice and controlled.
Really helped me on the build up towards Ramsey there, and a great tow. So yeah, thank you very much.
You looking forward to it? You nervous?
No, not nervous at all. Just so excited, overwhelmingly excited. Just cannot wait to get out now. It's been so long coming. It's just a dream day.
Cracking, good luck, mate.
Thank you, mate.
Stephen Smith dominated the senior to win by almost 40 seconds on the Alistair Cowan Racing Kawasaki. Paul Cassidy finished in 16th place, lapped at over 114 miles an hour and got his first bronze replica. Frankie Stennett did a sterling job. He was up into the top 30, but then a couple of technical problems after his pit stop dropped him down to finish at 39th. The sun has actually come out just in time for our race, so it should be pretty good. We've got about 7 or 8 minutes left, so I've done a few stretches. Now it's just a case of walking up onto the road. So my bike's already up there somewhere. I've just got to go enjoying it. Helmet in hand. It'll be sat up there on tyre warmers and all the rest of it. Then in about 2 minutes I'll probably have to come back down for a pee again, because that tends to be the system. So yeah, weirdly nerves are settling a little bit now. You know, I am nervous, but I'm also surrounded by midgets. That was Chris Kidley of Manx Radio, the little tinker. Lightens the mood a bit, doesn't it? Right, I'm going to go in the corner, do some more stretching, get myself prepped. There they are, look, a motorbike and the 3 wise monkeys. Adam was a bit late to the game there. So the boys at the front have had the 1 minute board. I've got about 4 or 5 minutes after that, because I'm 29th away, but we need to look nearly ready. Right, 4 laps. We had the best piece of tarmac in the world on a cool old motorbike. Let's have it. Right from the start I was faster than I'd been all the way through practice, and then the pit stop was really slick, so big thank you to Eric, Jez, Adam and Terry for doing a sterling job. And then it was just another 2 laps of riding around the best piece of tarmac in the world on my favourite motorbike. Right, that is it. I'm walking back down to the awning having finished the race. think I was 16th, 114 mile an hour lap on the last lap, so pretty much what I did last time I was here for Classic TT 3 years ago. And to be fair, that's actually sort of the closest I've been to my old times that I've done all year. And I thoroughly enjoyed it. That old 750 is lovely to ride. It just, mega. That is the entire reason we built motorbikes and come to the Isle of Man. That was just brilliant. Real good weather and 4 laps around the best circuit in the world with a bike that doesn't miss a beat. Just happy. Very happy. So I'm going to sit down, and then I'm going to take my leathers off, and then I'm going to do a sit down a bit more, and then I might have an ice cream and a cider. Mega happy. So that is it for Manx Grand Prix 2022. I have had an absolutely brilliant day out on my 750 and I love this old Kawasaki. The next thing to do is go for a shower and head down to the Villa Marina for the prize giving and make sure all the boys have got their trophies and have some cider to go with it. So thank you for watching and join us again soon for some more motorbike fun. So a little bit of a fairy tale ending for these boys as well. They've got all 3 of their weird and wonderful bikes round, and the man who's just ridden it back from the Holden area is Steve Vislott's lad. So that is a very cool ending to the meeting.